Hello everyone. Today we will have a group discussion about mass tourism. Alright Abigail, what do you understand about mass tourism? Can you explain a little bit?
If I understand correctly, mass tourism is about a large number of people visiting popular destinations at the same time for leisure. Based on the survey we have conducted, KLCC, Langkawi, and Penang are the main tourist attractions in Malaysia. And this destination attract a large number of people every year. Tourists are drawn to Malaysia because of the variety of food from diverse ethnic, rich cultural experience, and the natural scenery, which are some of the main reasons people choose to visit. However, mass tourism also brings negative impact towards Malaysia, such as the price of product and the service tend to be overpriced. Not only that, but some popular destinations can become overcrowded even though it's not a school holiday. And lastly is traffic congestion. It's another significant issue which gets worse as more tourists visit popular spots. This makes it harder to get around and put extra strain on local infrastructure and resources.
Got it. As you mentioned earlier, mass tourism refers to the high number of visitors who travel to Malaysia's main tourist attractions such as KLCC, Langkawi, and Penang due to diverse ethnic food, cultural, and natural scenery. Now, Anis, what do you think are the key impacts of mass tourism and why is it crucial for the industry to shift toward more sustainable practices?
Mass tourism has both pros and cons. On the positive side, it does bring significant benefits. However, it also comes with downsides, which I believe may be time for a change. One of the biggest issues is ecosystem damage. Mass tourism places immense pressure on our natural resources. According to Flecker 2019, overcrowded hotspots like the Great Barrier Reef and Maya Bay in Thailand showcase the consequences. Pollution from boats and litter, along with the sheer volume of visitors, leads to significant ecosystem damage. Coral reefs, once vibrant and teeming with life, are now suffering from bleaching and degradation due to this overuse. Another major cause of mass tourism is economic dependence. Many economies rely heavily on tourism, which can be risky. The COVID-19 pandemic showed us how fragile these economies can be. Destinations that depended on international visitors faced several downturns when travel stopped. This vulnerability highlights the need for more diverse economic strategies. When a country or region heavily relies on tourism, it becomes vulnerable to external shocks that can disrupt the flow of visitors. Examples of such shocks include natural disaster, economic recessions, or global health crises. While tourism can bring economic benefits, the environmental costs of mass tourism are undeniable. From ecosystem damage to carbon emissions, the consequences of our travel choices are profound. We must rethink how we travel and advocate for more sustainable practice to protect our planet for future generations.
Husna, any other points to add?
Yes, to start, it's essential to point out that mass tourism can create major social challenge, particularly through overcrowding. When large number of tourists arrive in a destination at once, it leads to congestion in public areas, public transport, and popular attraction. Research by Carl Leong Chong 2020 warns that this overcrowding can result in increased traffic and even noise pollution. In places like Bali, the influx of tourists has led to significant traffic jam which disrupt the daily life of residents. In many cases, the local communities feel that their quality of life is severely diminished, which ultimately causes them to lose their support for tourism altogether. Another significant issue arising from mass tourism is cultural dilution. Mass tourism can commodify local culture, causing traditional practices and customs to be altered to meet the expectation of tourists. Local communities often struggle to preserve their cultural identity while trying to satisfy the demand of visitors. Research in Bali shows that locals feel that their heritage is being diluted or exploited for profits. Although tourism brings economic benefits such as employment and business opportunities, the costs associated with cultural erosions and loss of authenticity often outweigh these advantages. Poorly enforced regulations worsen the issues, allowing tourism driving changes to traditions without preserving in culture.
Alright, let me recap all the points. Mass tourism possesses environmental, economic, social, and cultural impacts. It damages ecosystem, makes regions exposed to disruptions, creates congestion, noise pollution, and dilutes local tradition. Therefore, sustainable tourism practices are needed to ensure long-term benefits while preserving the environment, society, and culture. Then, Ifa, based on the points given before, what are your thoughts about mass tourism?
Thank you, Aimee, for asking. In my view, mass tourism has benefited Malaysia's economy by causing problems similar to over-tourism, such as environmental damage, infrastructure, and loss of cultural heritage. Mass tourism means large number of tourists visiting popular places, usually because they are affordable and well advertised. In Malaysia, mass tourism is common, but it doesn't always mean over-tourism throughout the year. Over-tourism typically happens during peak time like public holidays and affects specific areas such as cities like Kuala Lumpur and tourist hotspots such as Langkawi and Redang. I will now explain 3 key points of the impact of over-tourism. First is environmental damage. According to OMA ETL 2024, mass tourism harms Malaysia's environment, especially beaches and islands. Coral reefs are damaged by excessive snorkeling, diving, and waste pollution is a big issue at Langkawi, Redang, and Tioman. Building tourist accommodation also causes deforestation and destroys wildlife habitats. Studies suggest that Malaysia may lose as much as 70% of its coral cover by 2050 if warming continues. Without proper management, mass tourism can damage the environment and make this destination less appealing over time. Second point is overcrowding and traffic congestion that affects cities like Malacca because so many tourists visit these culturally important places. However, the local infrastructure isn't enough to handle the large number of people, which causes problems with public transport, parking, and the use of urban spaces. Anwar ETL 2019 point out that overcrowding makes life harder for locals to do their daily routine and also affect the experience of tourists. The last point is commodification of culture. Zakaria and Hua 2024 discuss how mass tourism can change traditional cultural practice in Malaysia. Events like festival and local craft can lose their original meaning when they are modified to suit what tourists expect. Although cultural tourism brings in money, this shift towards commercialization can harm the authenticity of local cultures, threatening the long-term preservation of Malaysia's rich heritage. That's all from me. I hope it is clear for the future understanding.
Based on what Ifa mentioned earlier, mass tourism in Malaysia benefits the economy but also poses environmental and cultural challenges. Overcrowding in cities like Malacca disrupts daily life and diminishes tourist experiences. These issues underscore the need for better management to balance tourism's benefits with environmental, societal, and cultural preservation. Vanessa, do you think it is important to reform mass tourism in today's world?
Based on what I heard, it's clear that mass tourism still brings benefits to certain countries. In Malaysia, as Ifa mentioned, we are not yet at the stage of over-tourism overall, but there are specific areas where the impact is becoming noticeable. Therefore, I believe we can all agree that while mass tourism has its advantages, it's important to reform or alter it to make it better and more sustainable. There are several alternatives that can be implemented. First, destination management. For example, Langkawi should be implementing strategies such as visitor caps and diversifying tourism activities to lesser-known islands or rural areas to reduce the pressure on over-visited destinations. A notable initiative supporting this is the Langkawi Pledge, a project aimed at encouraging visitors to respect the local environment and culture while contributing positively to Langkawi as a tourism destination. This project underscores the importance of fostering sustainable tourism practices and aligns with the Langkawi Development Authority's LADA efforts to promote ecotourism. Second, leveraging technology of VR and AR can allow tourists to explore cultural heritage sites in a way that minimizes physical impact. A study by Suresh and T. Jayavasan 2023 highlighted that these technologies can reduce carbon emissions and overcrowding in popular destinations, and by creating these platforms, it provides an immersive and engaging tourism experience of popular tourist attractions worldwide while promoting global social development. Next, stricter regulation and policy reform. Some popular destinations have already introduced daily visitor limits and mandatory guides to reduce environmental damage. According to our research in 2020, Barcelona, Spain established laws that control tourist activities while also protecting local culture. In Hawaii, tourist capacity limitations are established to preserve the environment. These techniques demonstrate how to manage tourism responsibly by incorporating local populations, safeguarding the environment, and implementing strict rules on tourism operations to preserve biodiversity and ensure long-term tourism sustainability. Finally, promote sustainable practice. Interestingly, research by Leong in 2019 revealed that the rise of mass tourism in Bali has brought more benefits than harm, as perceived by the locals. Furthermore, a research by S. Sorensen 2010 found that diverse case studies show how tourist providers approach sustainable tourism with a primary focus. Tourist providers employ sustainable tourism as a marketing strategy. However, various approaches are used depending on the destination. By encouraging travelers to opt for eco-certified accommodations and environmentally responsible activities, these positive impacts can be amplified, further promoting a sustainable and inclusive tourism ecosystem.
Alright, I understand. You mentioned that mass tourism in Malaysia can be more sustainable through destination management, technological advancement, stricter regulations, and promoting sustainable practices. These efforts can lead to a more responsible and inclusive tourism experience. Thank you everyone for your valuable insights today. It's been great hearing your thoughts on mass tourism and sustainability. I appreciate your time and effort. Thank you again.